Okay, so, all right, you have your hand up in class, but the teacher never calls on you. How are you feeling?
Impatient.
Yep. And how can you manage that feeling? How do you manage feeling
Take deep
impatient?
breaths.
Take deep breaths? Excellent. Cool. All right, you can toss it.
Ready.
Okay, number 3. You have a huge test tomorrow and you don't feel prepared. How are you feeling?
Nervous.
Nervous? Okay. Now, how do you manage that feeling of nervousness? How could you use self-talk? How could you use a coping skill? What would you do?
Take deep breaths, then use self-talk.
What would you say to yourself?
I would say if I should have I would practice for this and use coping strategies to be able to get the test done.
Okay. So
I'm
tell
prepared
yourself.
for it.
So tell yourself that you can use coping strategies during the test. So when you get nervous, you can kind of calm down so you keep doing it.
Yeah.
Cool. Good. All right. Toss it. All right. So number 4. Someone is bothering you in class when you are trying to get your work done. How are you feeling?
A bit ticked off.
Okay. And how are you going to manage that feeling? What are you going to do? What can you say to yourself or what can you do to manage that feeling of feeling kind of angry?
Maybe ask to take a break or something.
Okay, so ask someone to take a break so you can kind of remove yourself from a situation. Great. Okay, you can toss it. All right. Your alarm doesn't go off and you realize that you're late for school. How are you feeling?
Disappointed.
Okay, disappointed. And then how do you manage that feeling? What do you say to yourself or what do you do to kind of deal with the fact that you feel disappointed? What could you tell yourself to try to make yourself feel better about it?
I will set my alarm clock.
Good. So think about what could I do better next time? So I need to make sure that I set my alarm tomorrow so that this doesn't happen again. Good. Great. Toss it.
I was gonna pass it to you.
Oh
I thought you were
gosh.
I thought he was looking at me. I'm sorry.
All
I
right.
thought he was looking at me.
All right. I get it. All right. You borrowed a friend's game but broke it by mistake. How are you feeling? What would that feel like? So you'd feel bad, like you'd feel like guilty. Okay. And then how can you manage that feeling?
Take deep breaths.
Good. Okay, yep. So take deep breaths. And maybe like self-talk. For me in this situation, I would feel when I feel guilty, I get really crazy inside. So I would maybe say something like, I didn't do it on purpose. I know my friend will be upset, but I know that they'll forgive me in the long run. I just have to figure out a way to make it up to them, and I'll figure it out. Good. Okay, toss it. We're doing really good, Toss. Okay. Someone bumps into you in the hallway and your books go flying. How are you feeling?
I kind of feel mad.
Okay, a little irritated.
Yeah.
And then what could you say to yourself or what could you do to kind of manage that feeling in order to stay calm?
Probably count to 10 or just I don't know, ask somebody for help to pick up my books.
Good.
Or tell him to pick up my books.
Okay, so you could say hey man, do you think that you could help me with
Right.
this? But I especially take the count to 10 because you could say that to that person, but then if they don't do it, that could just make you more angry. If they're like, nah,
Right.
that could just make you more angry. So we never can control what happens on the outside. We can only control what we do on the inside. So counting to 10 is a great first step to feeling like you can calm down and not react. So good job. All right, you can toss it. All right. A friend posts a picture of you that you asked them to delete. So they took a picture, you asked them to delete it, and then you go onto your social media and see that they posted that picture that you asked them to delete. How do you feel?
I'll feel disappointed in them.
Okay, disappointed in them, and then like,
Like they probably lose my trust.
okay, so feel disappointed, feel like the trust is being lost. Now, how could you manage that feeling? Like, what could you either say to yourself, or what could you do to help with how yucky that feeling is gonna feel?
I could. What do you mean?
So you said, like, I would lose trust in my friend and I would feel disappointed. And you have to sit in that feeling. That doesn't feel good. That's a person you trusted and they lost that. So it doesn't feel good inside of you. What could you say to yourself to try to make it a little better?
I could maybe.
5 minutes out.
We can 5 minutes.
I could ask them to see. Like I could ask myself, maybe I should just calm down and maybe the picture ain't as bad as I thought it was.
Great. Okay. So maybe that picture isn't so bad. Like it's not worth freaking out about. Or like I love that. I think that's a great answer. So good job. All right. All right. We'll do the last one. Your parents say that you can't go out until you fold your laundry. How are you feeling?
Disappointed.
Disappointed. Okay, and then how can you manage that feeling of disappointment? What could you say to yourself, or what could you do to like manage and
Self-talk
cope?
myself into folding them.
Okay, so what would you say to yourself?
I would say if I fold these and take my time with them and do it while I'm doing it quick, I would be able to get out and go out until I would be able to go out of the house for a little bit.
Perfect.
And do some stuff.
Yeah, good. So you know what? If I fold this, then and I do it well, I know I'll be out soon. So I just need to get it done. Great. Okay, good. Thanks so much.